I well remember the look of concern on my father's face. He knew the secret D-Day plans, but could, of course, share that burden with no one.
Elizabeth II is the monarch of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth nations. Over the years, her subjects have admired her for her administrative prowess and unwavering sensitivity for all facets of society. The fact that she's the only female royal to have entered the armed forces and the only surviving head of state to have served in the military during World War II demonstrates her dedication to her nation and people. Following the turbulent period of the Second World War, Elizabeth ushers England into a new age of optimism and prosperity. Elizabeth II, patron of several charity organizations, has also been embroiled in a number of controversies.
And organizations have worked to promote peace and unity around the world, bringing together those who have been on opposing sides.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. Her full name is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor, but is also known as Queen Elizabeth. She was born April 21, 1926 in Mayfair, London, United Kingdom, making her 95 at the time of this production. She stands at 5 feet 3 inches tall, or 163 centimeters. Aberfan, Wales was devastated by a landslide in 1966. Over the course of 50 years, a massive mound of dirt and rock from a coal mine had gathered. Following heavy rains, the pile became loose, rolled downhill, and landed on top of a school and around 20 houses. Immediately, people rushed to help the trapped and injured victims. Some merely had their bare hands. 116 of the 144 people killed were minors. The Queen was invited to Aberfan, but she did not arrive until 8 days after the catastrophe. She was afraid that with the requisite security and her entourage, however, she appeared indifferent to people who were in pain. It was similar in the aftermath of Diana's death in 1997. We now know the entire family stayed at Balmoral Castle to mourn quietly and to safeguard William and Harry. It was appropriate and suitable for her to do so at the time. However, her absence appeared indifferent at the moment, so there are 2 instances where she has let people down severely. In retrospect, she appears to serve a symbolic role as sort of a national mother figure. When tragedy occurs, people want the Queen to come and shake their hands and express their condolences. Buckingham Palace is one of the most well-protected structures in the world. However, Queen Elizabeth II was jolted awake in 1982 when a man broke into her chamber late at night. According to The Independent, Michael Fagan, 32, climbed the barbed wire-topped 14-foot wall of Buckingham Palace and shinned up a drain pipe before making his way to the monarch's boudoir. As if it wasn't strange enough, Fagan playfully described what must have been a strange and terrifying night for the Queen. Her Majesty the Queen helps hundreds of British charities raise £1.4 billion a year for good causes. According to the Charities Aid Foundation, which works with donors and charities to promote giving, the Queen is one of the world's largest supporters of organizations, having helped hundreds of major and small charities of which she is a patron raise a total of $1,427 million. Queen Elizabeth II is a patron of 510 charities in the United Kingdom, including Cancer Research, UK, the British Red Cross, and Barnardo's. The royal family sets an incredible example by sponsoring 2,415 organizations in the United Kingdom. The Charities Aid Foundation is patronized by Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. The Duchess of Cambridge has followed in the Queen's footsteps by volunteering with organizations such as Action on Addiction, East Anglia's Children's Hospices, and the Scout Association, among others. The Queen's grandchildren together fund 16 charity organizations. Charities dealing with communal and civic issues are prominent in the Queen's philanthropic activity, accounting for 14% of the organizations she funds, followed by charities dealing with education and training, accounting for another 14%. On November 20th, 1947, Elizabeth married her distant cousin Philip Mountbatten in Westminster Abbey, London. Elizabeth met Philip, the son of Prince Andrew of Greece, when she was just 13 years old. She was captivated with him from the beginning. Over the years, the two stayed in touch and finally fell in love. They made a strange couple. Elizabeth was cautious and quiet, whereas Philip was loud and talkative. Her father, King George VI, was reluctant about the marriage because while Mountbatten had links to both the Danish and Greek royal houses, he didn't have a lot of money and was seen to have a harsh attitude by others. Elizabeth and Philip didn't spend any time in having a child. Son Charles was born the year after their wedding, in 1948, and daughter Anne was born in 1950. Elizabeth gave birth to two additional boys, Andrew and Edward, in 1960 and 1964, respectively. In 1969, Queen formally designated Charles as her heir by bestowing the title of Prince of Wales on him. Hundreds of millions of people watched the event live on television.
Part of the Christmas story lies the birth of a child, a seemingly small and insignificant step overlooked by many in Bethlehem.
Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary was born April 21, 1926 in London to Prince Albert, King George V, and Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. Most people did not know Elizabeth would one day become Queen of the United Kingdom when she was born. Her nickname was given Lilibet, was able to enjoy the first decade of her life with all the benefits of a princess without the responsibilities of being the heir apparent. Elizabeth's father and mother split their time between London and Royal Lodge, the family's residence on the grounds of Windsor Great Park. Tutors taught Elizabeth and her younger sister Margaret at home. At the age of 27, Elizabeth was crowned Queen Elizabeth II on June 2, 1953, in Westminster Abbey. When her father, King George VI, died on February 6, 1952, Elizabeth took over as the reigning monarch. For the first time, the coronation ceremony was aired live on television, allowing people all around the world to experience the pomp and grandeur. World War II occurred in London, where Queen Elizabeth II and her sister relocated to Balmoral Castle. Until 1939, they spent their Christmases at the castle. Sandringham House in Norfolk was assigned to the two. Princess Elizabeth resided in the Royal Lodge in Windsor before moving to Windsor Castle, where she spent several years. When her father, King George VI, left for other important duties in Italy in July 1944, Queen Elizabeth II acted as Counselor of State. Elizabeth II was appointed to command the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service in 1945. She was given an opportunity and trained as a mechanic and driver, and after a few months, she was voted as the regiment's commander. During a Conservative Party stalemate, the Queen was recognized for selecting the party's supreme leader. She also traveled to Ghana to inaugurate the 23rd Canadian alignment. From the 1960s through the 1970s, the Caribbean and African countries consolidated their states. Queen Elizabeth II did not wish to infringe on any constitutional rights. In the process, her choice hastened Australia's republication. In celebration of the Gulf War victory in 1991, Queen Elizabeth II took a risk and addressed the United States Congress. She will be recognized as the first monarch to be honored. In 2012, Queen Elizabeth launched the Paralympic and Olympic Games. The Queen of England celebrated her Golden Jubilee the same year. In 2013, Queen Elizabeth was the first royal to attend a peacetime cabinet meeting, becoming the first sovereign to do so since King George III.
I have been struck by how new generations have brought a similar sense of purpose to issues such as protecting our environment and our climate.
Elizabeth's annual income varies from $70 to $90 million. Queen Elizabeth's net worth is $600 million. Queen Elizabeth owns several houses: Buckingham Palace, the Country Home, the Holyrood Palace, the Balmoral Castle, the Sandringham Estate, and the Hillsborough Castle. Queen Elizabeth owns several cars: a Bentley Bentayga, a custom-built 2015 Range Rover LWB Landaulet, a Land Rover Defender, a Royal Gold State Coach, and an Aston Martin Volante DB6.